You're listening to the Fire and Thunder Sports Podcast. Be sure to tune in live every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on 9.3 FM WMSC. For the first time in on the show's history, and I don't think anyone ever expected, I don't think everyone, even myself, expected this, that we would actually open up the show like this. We are gonna open up the show with hockey. We're gonna open up the show with hockey. I know. Who opens the radio show with hockey in New York City? Honestly, who in the New York Tri-State Metropolitan area? Name me one radio host that ever in recently just opens their show with hockey. It never happens. But you know what? I'm doing it right now. This is why I want to talk about NBA Draft. We'll get all that stuff later. But right now I feel like opening a show with hockey, so that's what we're gonna do. And if you guys don't know, I'm a big New Jersey Devils fan, and these past, 24, 48 hours have been an absolute ball for me. For those of you who don't know, the NHL Draft, just recently wrapped up. It was, the first round was on Friday, June 21st. Yeah, the first round was, Friday, what am I saying? First round was Friday, June 21st, and the second round was this past yesterday, June 22nd. Saturday was the second round on. Second, through the seventh, was second to the seventh round. It was second through the seventh round. It was the second round through the seventh round. I'm sorry. And the New Jersey Devils, they ended up doing what many people expected them to do. A lot of people thought that this was going to be a slam dunk earlier in the year, but for a while it didn't look like it was going to be a slam dunk. We'll get into all that. We'll get into all that over time, but we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get into that all the time. We're gonna get into that in time. But New Jersey Devils, they have the first overall pick. Obviously, they won the draft lottery back in May and April. They won the draft lottery. They selected first overall, and they do what everyone expected them to do, which is take American-born center Jack Hughes. And honestly, I'm a Devils fan. I love the pick. I absolutely love the pick. There was a real big debate of who should go number one overall, Jack Hughes or Finland winner Kaapo Kakko, which, by the way, Kaapo went to second overall to the New York Rangers. I'll give my thought against that. We have a lot of talk about the Devils and the Rangers, because both teams are really looking great. But again, I'll get into that. But the Devils, they draft Jack Hughes. I love the pick. Well, Kaapo did make quite an argument to go first overall over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, he had a great performance at the World Junior Championships, leading Finland to gold, and then in May, at the men's World Championships, he helps Finland win gold as well. So Kaapo has been on a tear lately, and he definitely made his case to go first overall. But ultimately, my opinion was, I was still on the Jack Hughes bandwagon all the way. Ever since the Devils won the draft lottery, I was on the Jack Hughes bandwagon, because Jack Hughes, if you just look at his overall body of work, he is in my opinion arguably one of the best players to come out, or prospects to come out of the draft since Connor McDavid. I think that highly of Jack Hughes. I think he's right up there with some of the other players to come out of the draft. I think he's right up there with Austin Matthews. I think he's right up there with Rasmus Dulan. I think he's right up there with those guys for some of the best the best player to come out of the draft since Connor McDavid, because Jack Hughes, we've been talking about Jack Hughes forever. Jack Hughes, because Jack Hughes has been a really high touted prospect forever, since he was 2017, since he was 15 years old. Everyone, all the hockey guys, all the scouts, just the hockey world in general, they announced 2019 as the 2019 draft class as the Jack Hughes draft, the Jack Hughes draft. 2019 draft was known as the Jack Hughes as a Jack Hughes draft. This was a year where teams where there was always that hashtag lose for Hughes, all that stuff. Like, so he was really been a highly touted prospect. Like again, in my opinion, arguably the most highly touted prospect since Connor McDavid up in Edmonton, and the Devils won the draft lottery, and they do what they need to. They grab Jack Hughes, and overall, when you look at Jack Hughes' body of work, when you look at his resume, it's just too strong of a resume to pass up on. Like, I read an article on New Jersey on NHL.com, like the New Jersey Devils.com. I forget who it was written by. The Devils team there. They do a great work writing articles. I've been watching a lot. I'm reading a lot of their content. Lately. I'll give them a shout out later on the show. I forget their names, but yeah, they do a great job over there at New Jersey and NewsJoes.com. But they wrote an article saying, like, despite the Devils, they were impressed by Kakko. They really liked Kakko. Like, he made a really strong case to go first overall. But at the end of the day, they just could not pass up on Jack Hughes. They could not bear the thought of passing up on Jack Hughes and letting him go to their arch rivals. They could not just pass up on like Jack Hughes' resume because again, he's been the most highly touted prospect to come out of the draft in a while. Like, we've been talking about Jack Hughes for like God knows how many years now, like 3 or 4, like several years now, 3 or 4 years ago, we were talking about 2019 draft as the Jack Hughes draft. And when you look at him, he's got dynamic ability, he's got dynamic speeds, and he's an otherworldly skater. He's got otherworldly puck ability and passing. Like, he's got amazing stick work. I watched Jack Hughes like during the U18 Worlds and just recently the men's Worlds, and I was sold on him like from the get go because he's just dynamic. Like, because again, his dynamic ability, his skill, his speed, like all that stuff. Like his skill set fits exactly where the NHL is trending towards. It's trending towards speed and skill, aside from and it's trending away from size and the physicality part of the game. Yes, the St. Louis Blues won the Cup this year mostly based on size. Congratulations to them, by the way. Thank you for being the Boston Bruins. That way we don't have to, us New Yorkers don't have to suffer through Boston fans and their arrogance after winning the third championship and after winning their third championship in the last couple of months. But I'm going off topic. But getting back to the Blues, while they won the Stanley Cup based on size, that's really the exception, not the rule. The rule is that the teams with the dynamic is that the league is trending towards speed, it's trending towards skill, it's trending towards it's trending towards all those it's trending towards that way. Like, it's trending towards like another big reason why I think the Devils made the right decision to draft Jack Hughes. It's trending towards how do you say it? How do you say it? How do I say? How do you say? Hey, I don't know. I was gonna say anything. I'm trying to get the right word here. Yeah, but it's trending towards speed. It's trending towards. Oh yeah, there we go. Obviously the league is trending towards speed and skill, but is that another big reason why I think the Devils should have drafted Jack Hughes over Kakko is that he's a natural seven, and he plays the most important position in the modern NHL, and that's center. It's playing down the middle. We always use the phrase in football. You build from the inside out. It's a similar phrase. It's similar in the NHL. You build from the middle of the ice, the center position, and out to you, and then you build out to your wingers, your defense, all that. But you start by building down the unreal. And that's what New Jersey has been doing. Ray Shio, he was the GM manager for the Penguins when they had Crosby and Malkin down the middle. They had that 1-2 punch at center, and they won 3 Stanley Cups doing that. And Ray Shio's vision is going to be, and I think Ray Shio is going to complete this vision this time with Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier, who the Devils drafted in 2017 first overall. So when you have Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier down the middle, that 1-2 punch, I think the Devils are gonna be a scary duo for the Devils for years to come. And again, Jack Hughes, I'm getting to this, right? He's like he broke all sorts of records like during his time at the United States, at the United States National Development Program. Like he has the most points for he has the most points for the program in history, and he in this past year he broke Alex Ovechkin's career point records for the U18s. He broke a record set by one of the greatest players of our generation, arguably one of the greatest players of all time. So Jack Hughes, and Jack Hughes. Last point I want to make is that Jack Hughes is often compared to is often compared to Patrick Kane but it's often compared to Patrick Kane. Obviously the legendary. Honestly, the Hall of Famer of the Chicago Blackhawks, 3-time Stanley Cup champion. I believe he's won the Hart Trophy. Jack Hughes is often compared to that. And we have that sort of praise deflected your way. When you get that strong of a comparison, it just speaks volumes of how special of a player you could be. So overall, it's just, while I did like Capo Caco, the Rangers are gonna get a great player. We're gonna break down that coming after, right? Because both the Devils and the Rangers made big trades and had big drafts. I'm gonna talk about how this rivalry is gonna be a really big thing in New York sports for years to come. But just his comparisons to overall, just Jack Hughes' comparisons to Patrick Kane. When you get that kind of when you get that high level of a pro comparison, it really speaks volumes about you. And Patrick Kane himself said that when he got to know Jack Hughes during the time at the Worlds this past stuff, that he thinks that Jack Hughes does some stuff better than him. Patrick Kane thinks that Jack Hughes does some things better than him, which is really high praise coming from a guy like that. So overall, while Capo, again, no disrespect to Capo, but Jack Hughes I think was the obvious pick for the Devils. It was, in my opinion, I don't want to say the only right pick for the Devils, because if they did go with Capo, I wouldn't have been mad if they went with Capo. But overall, I just thought Jack Hughes was really the only real true pick that I would really get excited. I'm so excited to have Jack Hughes here. Jack Hughes here. I was on him since I was on the Jack Hughes bandwagon since day one. Now it's finally official. I mean, I'm just one happy Devils fan. And Jack Hughes, if you're listening, welcome to New Jersey. You're gonna love it here. Thanks for listening to the Fire and Thunder Sports Podcast. Be sure to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe to Super Adam 66 for more of the podcast, as well as more sports and entertainment content. Also follow on Twitter and Instagram at Grassani6. 6 is never caught. We're going to be hearing a lot of that song this upcoming NHL season, my friends. Like How by Gaslight Anthem. That's the Devils goal song. I love it. I love that song. I think it's the perfect replacement for Rock and Roll Part 2. I think they nailed that on the part, because the Devils, for a while they were struggling to find the right goal song to fit with their fans after moving on from Rock and Roll Part 2. After moving on from Rock and Roll Part 2. They tried a few different goal songs. They tried one in 2013, 2014, it was alright. They tried one next year, it stunk, it was awful. But then they switched, Howl by Gaslight Anthem. I think they knocked it out of the park. I think it's the perfect goal song for the Devils. So that was a nice little song we just played right there, and you're gonna be hearing a lot of that song this upcoming season, because as we said before, the Devils, they made some splashes yesterday, and the Rangers have made some splashes this week too. So obviously the Devils, they draft Jack Hughes. I broke down why I love that pick. Capo Caco goes number 2 overall to the Rangers. He's a dynamic finisher. He's a dynamic power forward. He has sight. He can score. He's a natural scorer. So Rangers are getting themselves one great player, and Rangers are getting themselves a great player. And we have a couple of trades to break down here. Both the Devils and the Rangers trade from big time defensive. So we'll break out down the first one for you, which is the Rangers trade. The Rangers, acquired defenseman Jacob Trouba from the Winnipeg Jets in exchange for Neil Pionk, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and the 20th overall pick in the NHL Draft. I mean, that's a great trade for that's not a great trade for the Rangers. The Devils, like, for a while, were seen to be in on the Jacob Trouba sweepstakes, but ultimately, the Rangers, put together a package that, it's wide. I mean, when a team is offering you a first round pick, like a 20th overall pick, and another, that's a very hard package, to turn down. So I was disappointed that the Devils missed out on Trouba, but ultimately the ultimate got outbid, but they just got outbid. That's what happened. The Devils just got outbid. So I'm not mad about that. The Rangers getting themselves a great defenseman. Trouba is he's 25 years old, so he hasn't really hit his prime yet. So he hasn't hit his prime yet. He had 8 goals, 42 assists for the Jets last year. Last year, like, he averaged 22 minutes and 52 seconds of ice time. I'm night that second most on the Jets last year. So Rangers are getting themselves a great defenseman, and for a while as a Devils fan, I was kind of nervous because I'm thinking to myself, we missed out on Adam Box, who went to the Rangers too, by the way, and then we missed out on Jacob Trouba. Like, that was like one of the big needs on the Devils was like right-handed defenseman. Like, they need defense in general. Devils have a really bad. Those have had problems on D, like, for many years now. They've always struggled to find defensemen. They always they haven't been good on defense. Let's just say that. As a Zion Devils fan who watches them often, let me just say they have not been good on defense these past couple of years. Let me just say that. Even the year they made it to the Stanley Cup playoffs, they got bounced in the first round by Lightning. Wanna know why? Because their defense stunk. That's why. So I was getting nervous. I was thinking, we missed out on Trouba. Like, we need a defenseman. What are we going to do? And then, the God, the Wizard, the Sorcerer ratio comes in yesterday with this big-time trade. With this big-time trade. Like, for those of you who don't know, yesterday, the Devils traded for PK Subban, one of the most popular players in the NHL, one of the one of the best defensemen in the NHL. He's won the North Trophy before. The Devils acquired all-star defenseman PK Subban. They also acquired, PK Soup, acquired all-star defenseman PK Subban from the Nashville Predators for defenseman Steven Santini, Jeremy Davis, a prospect, a second-round pick in 2019, which was the 34th overall pick, and their second-round pick and their second-round pick next year. And I mean, it is just an unbelievable trade for the Devils. It's an absolute steal of the Devils. Ratio has had like a knack, for fleecing teams the past couple of years. Because obviously 3 years ago, he fleeced the Oilers. He fleeced Taylor from the Oilers, which paid 1-for-1 for Adam Larson. I mean, that was a highway robbery right there. And he does the same thing again. Like, he gets PK Subban for Steve Santini, who's an okay defenseman, but nothing spectacular. Jerry Davis, who's obviously a prospect, I don't know much about him. I mean, Davis, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but I doubt he's listening. But and the second round pick at 29, and just 2 second round picks mean they keep all of their top assets. They keep Ty Smith, who's going to be big time. I'm really high on Ty Smith. First overall pick as the 17th overall for the Devils last year. Left-hand defenseman. He should be making his debut. He should be playing for at the NHL level this year. I'm really excited to see Ty Smith. And says they keep him. They keep pretty much all of their big assets. They keep Pavel Sakar. They keep Kyle Palmieri, and they keep their first round pick next year. They got a North Trophy winning defenseman, one of the best players in the NHL for the past 3 years, who's still in his prime. PK Subban is PK Subban right now is 30 years old. He has 3 years left on his contract, so he still has a good 3, maybe 4 years left of his prime. So this is an absolute steal. This is an absolute steal for the Devils. I mean, Ratio again coming in, and fleeces the national players. I want to address one thing though, is that the comparison on this trade to the Taylor Hall trade. There's one key difference is that the Taylor Hall trade, that was just stupid on his part. That was just dumb. That was one of the worst trades in the recent NHL. Like if you wanted to trade Taylor Hall for defense, fine. You gotta get a better return than what you got. You gotta get a better return than what you got. So it's not the idea of just trading Taylor Hall. Just trading Taylor Hall. That's fine. I compare the situation to Odell Beckham Jr. with the Giants. Trading Odell Beckham Jr. because you think he's ahead. Because you think he's a head case, you think he's bad for your locker room, fine. You gotta get a better return than what you got. And when you trade Taylor Hall because you need some defense, you gotta get a better return than just Adam Larson. So that was the reason why that trade was just horrible on his part. With Nashville, I can understand it more because what Nashville is trying to do right now is they're trying to shed some salary because they got a lot of big time players on the roster they want to sign extensions. They want to make some runs at free agency, so they wanted to clear up cap space. So that's the reason why they wanted to trade Edgerton. And let me tell you, in sports and all sports, when you make trades and salary dump, when you make trade, when it's obvious that you're making a trade to clear salary, you're giving whoever you're trading your player to all the leverage in the world because they end up getting to dictate the price. The team that's taking on salary gets to dictate what they want to give back to you because the Predators tried to trade PK Subban to other teams but the other teams, they weren't willing to take on all of his contracts. To keep PK Subban has 3 years, $27 million left on his deal, on his contract. That's about $9 million. That's about $9 million. $9 million a year. Sorry guys, but yeah. So other teams were not willing to take on all that salary. Other teams were not willing to take on all $9 million of that cap hit. The Devils, on the other hand, they were, because the Devils have a ton of cap space. They have $27 million in cap space, $32 million coming into the offseason. So they have enough cap space to be able to take on that contract. So they were a team that really could take on all of that money. Ratio knew that they were the only team that really could take on all of that money, and Ratio ultimately had all the leverage, and he got to dictate exactly what he was willing to give back, and he took advantage of that leverage, and he got himself a Norris Trophy winning defenseman, and he got himself a Norris Trophy winning defenseman, and PK Subban is just, I'm super excited, I'm super excited. Hold on, guys. Sorry, guys. I had some technical difficulties there, but I'm just super excited to have PK Subban on the Devils, because there's I don't want to say culture change, but the Devils throughout the years have been kind of like a quiet organization. They haven't been really in the market too much. They haven't been making that many noises. They haven't had any really big stars or big names or big personalities, and that's kind of changing. That's kind of it's kind of changing for a little bit, because PK Subban is he has personality. He does a lot of charitable donations. He's really involved he's really involved in the community, in his local communities. He's amazing in the locker room. He's a fun loving guy. He's just extremely likable. And same thing with Jack Hughes. If you just look at Jack Hughes, I was watching on New Jersey Devils YouTube channel, the Jury to One episode 4, where they watched it, where they showed Jack Hughes just walking on the NHL draft, doing all the draft media stuff, and he just seems like I just love the kid. All right, he's extremely energetic. He's extremely likable. He's always cheering. He's always he's always very energetic. And he just brings such a kid like atmosphere. He gives off such a kid. He gives off such a kid friendly, childish shot, not in a bad way, not like an immature way, but in a really good way. Like, he goes such an enthusiastic about it. Same thing, with Gleyber Torres. I absolutely love Gleyber Torres. He's my favorite player on the Yankees. He gives me kind of like a similar vibe that he gives me kind of like that's kind of similar vibe. Gleyber Torres is always on the bench, celebrating, act like really just being cute, being cute, being that kind of like giddy, kid kid, in the clubhouse. And same thing with Jack Hughes. He just brings that kind of enthusiasm. I absolutely love it. So, and we have and PK Subban actually posted a video on his on Twitter, just basically addressing the trade and basically saying goodbye to Anderson and welcoming himself to New Jersey. So I'm gonna play a full credit to PK full credit to PK Subban for this. So this is from his Twitter, at PK Subban at PK Subban 1. So as you said before, this is PK Subban on his Twitter, addressing fans, media, and all that after being traded from the Nashville Predators to the New Jersey Devils.
All right, to everyone in Nashville, city of Nashville, state of Tennessee, everybody at the Nashville organization, everyone in the front office, from ownership, Barb and Herb Fritsch, down to GM, David Poyle, coaching staff, led by Peter Laviolette, and everyone in the front office. I just want to thank you guys for your continued professionalism over the past 3 years and believing me and giving me an opportunity. I believe we got close to our goal, didn't achieve what we wanted while I was there, and that hurts. But to all those Nashville fans out there, I just want to let you guys know in that locker room, you guys have an amazing group of players led by Roman Yossi, and I know that those guys are going to give everything they have every night. To all my teammates, thank you for welcoming me with open arms and allowing me to come into that locker room and have a presence and do my job every day. And lastly, one of the biggest things in Nashville that I'm very passionate about, my Blue Line Buddies program, to all the kids and the officers that, wanted to participate every night and believed in changing something that was going to make the city better, the state better, and ultimately our country. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And you know what? I'm not going to be a stranger. I'll be in and out of Nashville. I'll be around, and I'll be thinking of you guys. Thank you. But now moving forward, you guys know the deal. I'm a Devil. Let's go. It's on. To all those New Jersey Devil fans out there, let's go. I mean, I don't know. I'm with Red Bull. This is the closest. I don't got any merch yet. You know what? To the all the fans that go to the Rock every night, the Rock Prudential Center, to support the New Jersey Devils. Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? I don't really know. This is the only thing I got. I mean, it's the Rock's logo, but do you smell what the Rock is cooking? I don't know. I got no merch. I got no memorabilia. I got nothing with Jersey Devils on it, but I just want to tell you guys, are you guys ready for the Subanator? Because I'm ready to go. Let's go. Lucy, we're going to Jersey. Let's go.
So if you just listen to that clip, you could tell. I mean, it's just PK Subban is just extremely likable. He gives us such he just gives us such I mean, I don't know how do you really pronounce it, but he gives such a great vibe. He's very enthusiastic. He's very enthusiastic. Like, yes, as you said, he's involved in a lot of charity, like as you said before, his charity work in Nashville. He's gonna be doing a lot. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be doing a lot of the same stuff in New York. He's gonna be really impactful in the New York community. I think the New York community, which is a really charitable community, I think PK Subban is gonna eat. I think PK Subban is gonna thrive there. He's gonna thrive in the New York, New Jersey. Or is Mark? He's only 30 minutes away from he's only like a train and like 30 minutes to an hour away from New York City. So he's gonna be. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be involved in all the stuff. And the Devils are really gonna have for the first time they're gonna have some pretty big marketable stars on our team. Obviously Taylor Hall, Taylor Hall, they're probably gonna extend him soon. Like Nico Hischier was the first overall pick, a couple of years ago. He's the first Swiss player. That's kind of a remarkable thing. Also, Jack Hughes is an American. If he lives up to his potential, he could be the new face of USA American hockey. That's a big time business move there. And PK Subban, with his kind of personality and the energy he brings, the Devils have officially put themselves like on the map, and they've talked about that. Like Marty Brodeur has talked about that former legendary goaltender, the New Jersey Devils Hockey Hall of Famer, now the vice president of business development at the New Jersey Devils. Talk about that, like wanting the New Jersey Devils to expand their business horizons, like become more of an out there franchise that they were before. Not necessarily to the not too far to like the Browns level, where not really Browns level, but to a level where it seems like dysfunctional. That where you got the Browns and they always get into the media for all the wrong reasons. Older Beckham Jr., Baker Mayfield, all that. Not to that level, but just having kind of a personality, just being energetic, being enthusiastic, not worrying about unwritten rules or anything. And they just having fun playing hockey. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the New York community. Just being out there and just having that kind of like energetic culture. And I just cannot wait for hockey season to see the New Jersey first upcoming season, to watch the New Jersey Devils on NFC Network stuff, because it's gonna be combining the traditional vibes of the New Jersey Devils, going to games, like all the traditional stuff, because we still have some of our old time presence on here. Travis Zajac is a long time veteran. Andy Green's a long time veteran. Corey Schneider. We're still got those guys, but also mixing in with all the new guys like Jack Hughes and PK Subban. You still have guys like Taylor Hall and Nico Hischier there. I am super excited for hockey season, folks, and the Rangers fans too. The Rangers are quickly becoming a big time. The Rangers the Rangers have been rebuilding for a while. They sent their ticket holders like, hey, we're gonna be rebuilding for a while. We're trying to rebuild the right. We're trying to rebuild the right way. Eventually, eventually we'll get back out there. And so far so far it's been working. So far it's been working. They got Adam Fox. They traded for Adam Fox. They got Jacob Trouba, and they're adding to the rest of the young core, and they're adding to the rest of the young core, named Brett Adwin, Ryan Strom, Jimmy Vesey. Like, the Rangers are right now building a really nice young core. They're building a really nice young team. You still got Henrik Lundqvist as the big time veteran presence on that team, and I think the New Jersey Devils and New York and so far, and I just want to compare this right now. Jack Hughes actually said this as well. These two picks, first overall to number 2 overall, will be linked together forever. Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko will be linked together. For basically for a very long time. Those two players are going to be Those two players are going to be linked to each other. They're going to be compared. They're going to be compared to They're going to be compared to one another. Those two players are gonna be compared to each other for the next couple of years. We should top of the hour here on 9.3 FM WNC. As we reach the top of the hour on 9.3 FM WNC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. So Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko are going to be linked together for their entire careers because obviously Jack Hughes went number 1 overall to the New Jersey Devils. Kaapo Kakko went number 2 overall to the New York Rangers. They're going to be playing against each other 4 times a year. They're going to be in the same market, the New Jersey metro area market. These two picks will be linked together for their entire careers, and it's ultimately going to be a real big storyline debate of whether or not the New Jersey Devils made the right pick. Because this offseason and these two selections, because it could have been like a Michigan Crosby rivalry, but in New York City with a rivalry right here with the Devils and the Rangers that's kind of gone stale. This offseason, this draft has officially reignited the New Jersey Devils and New York Rangers rivalry.
Thanks for listening to the Fire and Thunder Sports Podcast. Be sure to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe to Super Adam 66 for more of the podcast, as well as more sports and entertainment content. Also follow on Twitter and Instagram at Grassani6.
Just recently, the NBA draft, just recently wrapped up, and as expected, Zion Williamson the power forward phenom from Duke, like one of the probably the best player to come out of the draft since LeBron James. He no surprise there. He goes number 1 overall to New Orleans Pelicans. John Morant at the star point guard from, was it Vanderbilt or North? I'm not 100% sure, but I can find out right now. But yeah, he goes number 2 to Memphis Grizzlies, and the New York Knicks make the obvious pick. They don't get cute. They don't make a pick out of nowhere. They make the safe pick. They make the obvious pick. And that is drafting Duke shooting guard RJ Barrett. And overall, if you're a Knicks fan, you can't be mad about this. Like, I have a hard time. If you're a Knicks fan, you can't be mad about this pick. Mad about this pick. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. But if you're a Knicks fan, you can't be angry at the pick. It was the obvious pick. Like, it was the eighth pick. Like, a couple of years ago, like, Knicks fans have had a reputation for booing their own draft picks. Obviously, 2 years ago, what was it? 4 years ago in 2015, the Knicks booed Kristaps Porzingis when he was drafted, and look how he turned out. Obviously he got traded, but he turned out to be a pretty good player. We'll see what happens with him, in Dallas with the Mavericks. I believe, the Dallas Mavericks. I think it's the Mavericks. Yeah, I think he's with the Mavericks right now. And they booed last year. They booed Kevin Knox. So the Knicks fans have had had a reputation for booing their own booing their own draft picks. It's kind of like I don't want to say it's ridiculous. because fans do have a right to boo if they don't like something. But booing a player as soon as they know they get drafted after, it's kind of weird because they haven't really done anything. And same thing with Giants fans, booing Daniel Jones or fans booing Daniel Jones. The Giants fans booed Daniel Jones when he was drafted, and he was just booed at the Yankees game. Can we see how these players pan out first? Can we see how Daniel Jones does as the heir apparent to Eli Manning? Can we see how Kevin Knox develops? We saw what happened with Kristaps Porzingis. Everyone booed him. He turned out to be a stud. So let's let these guys play before we end up booing them. But that's going off tangent. The Knicks they do safe thing. They make the obvious pick, that is drafting RJ Barrett out of Duke. This, as we discussed before, this draft was widely considered to be a 3-player draft. From the top 3 picks, there's considered to be a drop off from that point, and those 3 players are obviously Zion Williamson, arguably a generational talent, has a chance to be a generational talent. Everyone expects him to be a superstar. We'll break down we'll get into some Pelicans talk later on in the show, but yeah, and obviously John Morant goes number 2 overall to Memphis Grizzlies, and RJ Barrett to the Knicks at 3. Again, it was widely considered to be a 3-player draft. Those 3 guys, Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, and John Morant, those were the top 3 guys, and from that point on, everything there was a significant drop off in talent out of that. Everything else is just a question mark. No one from the first 3 players on, those were the 3 surefire bets. Those top 3 picks were the surefire picks, surefire picks that are gonna play right away and become impact players. Those 3 guys were the surefire players, and everything beyond everything beyond that we don't know. Everything beyond that we don't know what's gonna happen with those guys. We don't know what's gonna happen with we don't know what's gonna happen with the guys like Kevin or junior. We don't know what's gonna happen with guys like Josh Jackson. Yeah, I think I'm sorry. Yeah, I think Josh Jackson. I don't really know here, but the long story short, everything else beyond everything else beyond the first over for the first 3 picks, is like we have no idea. We have no idea what's the gap with the rest of the picks because there's a significant drop off in talent from those 3 picks to for the rest of the draft. So the Knicks, obviously, this is why I told you guys getting one of the top 3 picks in the draft was almost as good as getting the number 1 overall pick. Knicks fans are all freaking out they got the 3rd overall pick and they missed out on Zion Williamson. I said before, it's not the end of the world. You're still getting a great player. You're still getting a great player in RJ Barrett, while considered to be one of the three best considered to be one of the 3 best prospects in the NBA. One of the 3 best prospects in the NBA draft. Again, we said before how it was a 3-player draft. They're getting one of those 3 really players. So Knicks fans obviously should be happy. And when you look at RJ Barrett, there's some strengths to his game and there's some weaknesses. Number one, I was listening to someone on WFAN. I forget who it was, but his concerns were about RJ Barrett, where there's nothing really great about his game. This is nothing really that you think about his game that really stands out. Well, that is about that point. He's still he's excellent. He has got an excellent demeanor. He's got excellent attitude. He's perfect for New York. He set up from day one, as soon as the draft lottery wrapped up, that he wanted to be in New York. He wanted to be a New York Knicks. He wanted to be a New York. And he wanted to be in New York. He wanted to be a New York Knicks. So the Knicks are getting a guy who's perfect for New York, perfect for Madison Square Garden, perfect for this city playing this type of market. Obviously RJ Barrett, I think, is going to thrive in the New York market. And people forget when they talk about when you talk about how there's nothing really superstar potential about RJ Barrett. We all forget, before Zion Williamson really broke out, RJ Barrett was the guy. Before Zion Williamson broke out, RJ Barrett was projected to be the 1st overall pick. Before Zion Williamson went on that tear and became the phenom that he is, and secured his spot as the number 1 overall pick, as one of the best, probably the best player to come out of the draft since LeBron James. RJ Barrett was projected to be the 1st overall pick back before the college basketball season began. So there's something there with RJ Barrett. There's something there with RJ Barrett. There's something there for Knicks fans, to be excited about. Think about it, they're getting a great young player at 3rd overall. There are a lot of debates of could you trade the pick for Anthony Davis. That's something that I personally, if I were Knicks fans, I would have done. If you could trade the 3rd overall pick and another player for Anthony Davis, I would have done it. The problem is the Knicks just did not have enough assets to make that trade for Anthony Davis. They didn't have enough good enough young players to trade for Anthony Davis. They didn't have enough draft capital to trade for Anthony Davis. Where the Lakers, did. We'll break down that trade when we're done talking Knicks. So while the Knicks couldn't make a package for Anthony Davis, that's something that Knicks fans would have been excited about as well. Knicks fans would have been excited about. Well, we all thought could be a possibility for them. Ultimately, it didn't. Ultimately, it didn't happen. So, ultimately, it just didn't happen. It wasn't meant to be. So instead of Knicks, they do the safe thing and they draft, and they draft Barrett. So, and that's the thing. I was listening to the Michael K show with all this draft talk, before we break down what the Knicks should do with this pick, moving forward is that I was listening to Donald Greco on the Michael K show, and he brought up an excellent point. So we could talk about free agency. We could talk about big names coming to the Knicks. Is Kyrie Irving gonna go to the Knicks? Is Kevin Durant going to the Knicks? Are even Kevin Durant going to the Nets? Like all these rumors about letting big time free agents. All that's well and good, but as we see, the way you win in sports, or it's all sports, the way great franchise teams are built, the way great franchises are ran, the way great teams championship teams are built is through the draft. That's the way championship teams are built. They draft well. They pick up good young players that you can they develop into impact players. They develop into homegrown stars. They build a good farm system. They build a good group of young players. They build the foundation. They build through the draft. They build through the draft, and then add missing pieces later on via free agency. That's how you win in sports. You build your core you build your core. You build your young core, or you build your core, and then you surround that with trades and free agency, all that. But it all starts with the draft. That's where great franchises are born. That's where the devil. That's where the Devils so many years ago were born. They drafted Manny Machado, and it looks like that's gonna be the same thing again with Jack Hughes. Manny Machado announced the pick by overall. And I'm just gonna go off tangent for a second. Manny Machado was drafted. The NHL draft this year was in Vancouver. Jack Hughes got picked by the Devils. You know where Manny Machado was picked by the Devils back in I believe 1990. He was picked in Vancouver as well. Hint, nudge, nudge. Okay, but going off tangent there, but that's the way teams are built. They're built for a job. Obviously, the Rangers, Capo Caco is going to be the centerpiece of that franchise for years to come. And when we look at all championship teams in sports, alright, so a lot of people look at the Warriors and say, "Oh, they signed Kevin Durant. That's how they built that dynasty." That's not true at all. They drafted Steph Curry. They drafted Klay Thompson. They drafted Draymond Green. They drafted all those guys. They built their original dynasty, that 73 team, through those three guys, and they were able to build a strong enough team to lure Kevin Durant to come join them. That's how you win. When you look at baseball with the Yankees, they drafted Aaron Judge. They found Gary St. Enters through international free agency. They found Gleyber. They traded for Gleyber. They traded for Gleyber Torres, who was a prospect at that time. That's how you win in sports. You win in sports by building through the draft and building through young players that you can then either develop them into homegrown stars, or B, trade them for impact players. That's what the Lakers did. They drafted Lonzo Ball. They drafted Brandon Ingram, and they ultimately added enough trade chips to go out and get Anthony Davis, and now they're the favorites to win the title. So this is where it all begins, ladies and gentlemen. All the great dynasties in sports, this is draft days where it begins. This is days like Thursday, February 20th, and Friday, February 21st. Those are the days where franchise either A, start to build something, or B, ultimately falter. Because if teams don't draft after all, they end up becoming short on assets. That's why the Knicks couldn't get Anthony Davis. They have not drafted well over the past couple of years, mostly due to Phil Jackson. Thank God he's goodness. I mean, as a Nets fan, I would have been happy if he stayed, because obviously Nets have a rivalry with the Knicks. I can't stand the Knicks, so I want them. I don't really want. I'm getting off topic there, but you know what I mean. Thank God, for Knicks fans, thank goodness Phil Jackson is gone. But yeah, teams are built, through the draft, and the Knicks, obviously made a ton of bad selections. That's why the Knicks has been a joke for the past, 20 years. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's James Dolan. Knicks are a cursed franchise. Nothing goes their way." No. The reason why the Knicks have been bad for 20 years, the reason why the Knicks have had the worst record in the NBA over the past, 20 years, is because they have not drafted well. They have not drafted impact players. They have not drafted, star players. They have not drafted star players. They have not made good draft selections. And that's why they've been a joke for, the past 20 years. They haven't made good draft selectors. So that way, and when you don't have good draft selectors, A, your roster is short on talent, and B, you don't have enough trade chips to go out and get the Anthony Davises of the world. You don't have enough of players to come and recruit the Kevin Durant's of the world, the Kyrie Irvings of the world. Well, that's what happens. Look at what the Nets did. The Nets had no first round picks for 3 years. For all 3 years of the rebuild since Sean Marks and Kenny Atkinson took over. 2016, 2017, 2018. All 3 of those years, the Nets did not own their draft pick. Now they're arguably the favorites to land Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. We'll break that all down next week when our special NBA free agency show. In our special NBA free when we talk a lot of NBA free agency next week. But that's getting off topic. But why did the Nets become such a big time free agent destination without all the draft picks? Because they managed to trade for other first round draft picks. They managed to swing the trades to acquire draft picks, and they hit on those picks. In 2017, they hit on Caris LeVert. They made the trade for D'Angelo Russell. They drafted, Jarrett. They developed Spencer Dinwiddie. They developed Joe Harris. They acquired and developed all these young players that they then developed into either A, impact players, or B, star players in D'Angelo Russell's case. That's how you win in sports. It's drafting, acquiring, and developing young players to build your foundation, and then you can recruit, and then you can go out in free agency and bring, a star player to, ultimately push you over top. Again, with the Yankees, they drafted Aaron Judge, they acquired Gleyber Torres, and they signed Gary Sanchez as an international free agent, and they had ultimately enough trade chips to go out and trade for Giancarlo Stanton. That's how you win in sports, ladies and gentlemen. And everyone talks about free agency, and getting the big names. When in reality, actually, going out there and making those big, and getting those, and getting those big, and getting, everyone talks about getting those big time free agents. In reality, just drafting well, acquiring young players, developing young players. That is ultimately how you win in sports. And we'll see what happens with RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett could be, who knows? RJ Barrett could either be next Carmelo Anthony, he could be the next Patrick Ewing, or he could be the next, what's a good example? I forget. Kwame Brown. He could be the next Kwame Brown. He could be the next Melo. He could be the next Patrick Ewing, or he could be the next Kwame Brown. Like, who knows what will happen? But again, how you win in sports is through the draft. That's how you build, championship franchises. That's how you build, championship teams. That's how you build, championship franchise. That's how you go out there and build your team. You build through the draft, you acquire young players and develop young players, and then you add the pieces through either a free agency or use the assets you have to go out there and get a star player. That is ultimately how you win in sports. And again, we'll see what happens with the Knicks. We'll see what happens with the Devils. We'll see what happens with the Rangers. But these past couple of days, this past Thursday, this past Friday, and Saturday, they have ultimately played a great role in impacting, these three franchises as future for years to come. The future of the Devils, the Rangers, and the Knicks, it was all put. I don't want to say, I don't know how you word this, but it was all pretty much set in stone. It was all pretty much set in stone. Not really set in stone, but these draft selections that they made, that all three teams made, Knicks getting RJ Barrett, Devils getting Jack Hughes and other players, Rangers getting, Kabakaka and other players. This is ultimately what's going to end up being, the cornerstone pieces of their franchise for years to come. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if the Knicks got it right. We'll see if the Devils got it right. We'll see if the Rangers got it right with their drafts. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with all three teams and if they all got it right in their drafts. the Brooklyn Nets, my Brooklyn Nets, they had kind of like a cool, I don't want to say quiet draft day, but they didn't really make any. But they didn't really make that many headlines. The Knicks did. Obviously, the Knicks drafting RJ Barrett with the 3rd overall pick. That's really going to be a big deal. That's really is what it's ultimately going to generate. That's really ultimately what's going to generate. That's ultimately really what's going to generate or that's what ultimately what's going to generate storylines. So obviously, in the Nets, kind of like took a backseat to the Knicks on draft day, but they did make what is but they did make one unmove and one move on draft day that's really worth noticing. I'll get into the draft draft picks later, but the Nets made a trade with the Los Angeles Clippers, sending them the 27th overall pick. The Knicks had the 27th overall pick that was originally owned by the Denver Nuggets. The Nets also had the 17th pick, but they packaged that in the Allen Crabbe deal. I talked about that, in my previous show. But the Nets also had the 27th overall pick that originally brought to the Nuggets. They ended up trading that pick to the Los Angeles Clippers in exchange for the 56th pick and a 2020 first round pick. So the Nets gave the Clippers first round pick next year and the 56th overall pick for the 27th 27th overall pick. So I think it's a great trade because in the Allen Crabbe deal, you pretty much lost your first round pick. Last year, you lost your first round pick in the Allen Crabbe deal because not only did you package the 17th overall pick, but you also packaged you also packaged your 2020 you packaged your 2020 first round you packaged your 2020 first round draft pick. It was top 14 protected. Yeah, it's protected picks 1 through 14. It was lottery protected, but in all likelihood, they trading their first round pick next year. So to add, a first round pick in 2020, add a first round pick next year to kind of replace the pick that you lost in the Allen Crabbe deal. That was ultimately a great move, but that was a great smart move by Sean Lux. Because as we said, because the next pick was the 31st overall pick, which is originally the next pick, but the Nets have that pick. The Nets have that pick. They drafted the 31st. The pick that they had was 27th. So the distance of 27th to 31st. That's only four. That's a distance of 4 spots. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. So why not just trade your 27th overall pick, get a first round pick next year, get an extra pick in this out, and the guy that you ultimately would want to take at 27 will ultimately probably be there at 31st. And as you said before about this draft class, it was a 3-player draft. Zion Williamson, John Morant from Murray State. That's the college. I finally got his college right. I good on you for that, Adam. And RJ Barrett. It was those 3 guys, and everything beyond that, it's just a toss up. So ultimately it's not really that many. So ultimately, there's not going to be that much difference between the 27th overall pick and the 31st overall pick. So why not? So if you can get a first round pick and another pick in the second round, which the Nets did, they got a 56th pick and a 2020 first round pick. If you could do that, why not do it? So the Nets make that deal. Great trade by Nets to stock up on draft picks, and it also clears up $1.97 million in capital, because the way the NBA works is that first round picks come with a certain number of capital. It depends on the draft positioning. For example, I believe if it's the first overall pick, it's $10 million capital. If it's the second overall pick, it's $8 million. It's $8 million. It's $8 million capital. Then the Nets pick, which was the 20th pick, had a $1.97 million capital. Meanwhile, second round picks the 31st pick that the Nets have, that doesn't come with any capital. hold. So the Nets were able to clear some cap space, and as we said before, now they have, I believe, 28.67 million dollars in cap space in free agency, which is just $2.18 million short of the $71.85 million needed to add both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant to max deals. You need $71.85 million to sign both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant to max contracts, and to make this move to clear up salary, it brings the Nets that much closer to ultimately, having enough cap space to go out and get those two big time players. A lot of rumors are coming out right now that they're the favorite. The Nets are the favorites to land Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. I'm not going to drag on too much about that. I'm going to say that for next week's show because it's going to be June 30th. It's going to be a big NBA free agency. They will have a ton of stuff to get into. That will be our big, NBA free NBA that'll be a big, NBA free agency show. But as you said before, I'm going to throw this out there that the one thing that's really holding this back is that Darren Williams, that, we already know how much Darren Williams is a bust in Brooklyn. They ended up having to buy him out. They're still paying him this year. He still has $5 million on the Nets cap hold. This will be the next year that that Darren Williams will be on the Nets cap hold. So if the Nets did not have that money on their cap hold, they have enough money to sign both players to a max. Way to go, Darren Williams! Way to go! Thank you for ruining the Brooklyn Nets franchise. But all right. But I'm not going to drag on too much about that. So again, to sum up this trade, it clears up salary cap. It clears up salary cap space. It clears up salary cap space, and you ultimately, again, there's not much difference between the 27th pick and the 31st pick. So, and you get another first round pick next year out of it to replace the pick that you lost. So, ultimately, it was a great move by Sean Marks and the Nets. And with those two picks, with their 2 second round picks, the Knicks selected Nick Claxton, a center from Georgia, and Jalen Hands, a point guard from UCLA. So I like the Nick Claxton pick. He's a big body. He's great at interior defense, which is what the Nets need. Basically, Nick Claxton is what the Nets need. He's a center, but he can play power forward. I believe he's 6'10". I believe he's 6'10". I believe he's 6'10". So I ultimately extend, and he's pretty much what the Nets need. The Nets need that big time power forward. They need that big body. They need some interior defense. They need rebounding. So Nick Claxton can provide. So Nick Claxton has the tools to develop into the type of player the Nets need. Will he? I don't know, but but ultimately he is the type of player that the Nets ultimately need. So I really do. So I really do like the pick. I don't love the pick. I'm not saying that Nick Claxton is gonna be the next. It's gonna be the next Amari Stoudemire or anything. But I think there's potential there. So right now, I really do like the pick. And Jalen Hands out of UCLA. I mean, it's a 56 pick, so I don't really have too much expectations. But I think if Jalen Hands does make the roster, he'll probably play a similar role to what Shabazz Napier played this year. That kind of third string point guard. If Dinwiddie gets injured, he'll become second string. That guy can just come off the bench, play solid minutes at the point guard position for when Kyrie Irving, D'Angelo Russell, whoever the next point guard is. Who knows? To give them Spencer Dinwiddie, to give all those guys just coming off the bench and play solid minutes. So that'll probably be Jalen Hands. So that's pretty much my opinion on all the Nets free agency. And then to close up all this NBA talk, we got to talk we got to talk about the New Orleans Pelicans. And obviously the New Orleans Pelicans, they, in my opinion, won the draft. Obviously, they make that big time trade for Anthony Davis, and they add a lot of impact players. That's the thing. So for the full terms of the trade is the trade. The full terms of the trade, the Pelicans trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers for Lonzo Ball, Lonzo Ball, who's going to be their point guard. We'll see what happens. We'll see what he can develop into. Brandon Ingram, who I really like, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks, including the number 4 overall pick in the NBA draft, which they ultimately traded to the Atlanta Hawks which they ultimately traded, to the Atlanta Hawks. So not much to say. So not really much to say there. But the Pelicans, they add a lot of young players. They add Lonzo Ball. They add Brandon Ingram. They add Josh Hart to pair along with Zion Williamson. So the Pelicans, they stockpile a lot of talent. The Pelicans, so the Pelicans, Pelicans, just stockpile the surrounding of Zion Williamson. The Pelicans are surrounding Zion with some pieces. He's giving him a potential star point guard in Lonzo Ball. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Lonzo Ball. I've been very critical of him so far. I don't think he's lived up to the hype. I've been saying for I think Lonzo Ball is overrated. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he can ultimately prove it wrong and ultimately live up to his potential. Brandon Ingram. We'll see. After them, I really like him. Sure. All right. They also acquired 3 first-round picks. So the Pelicans have all the ammunition in the world to surround Zion Williamson with enough talent. And as we said before, building through the draft is ultimately how you win in sports. Or so making these trades is how you win in sports. You acquire players, you draft well, you draft young players. The Pelicans drafted Zion Williamson. They got Lonzo Ball. They got Brandon Ingram. They got Josh Hart. So they're stockpiling on a lot of talent. And I think the Pelicans could really be in a couple of years. I think the Pelicans have the potential to be a really dangerous team in the NBA. I think the Pelicans could be one of the big time threats in the Western Conference for years to come, and Zion Williamson, I want to say this about Zion Williamson, extremely likable guy. I mean, we have this clip here from Zion Williamson. I want to talk about this. We have this clip here from Zion Williamson. I believe it was after the draft. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. But it was after he just got picked by the New Orleans. It was after he just got picked by He was just got picked by the New Orleans Pelicans. This was immediately after he got picked. So we have this clip here from ESPN. I'm gonna play it. Full credit to him, ESPN. This was from the NBA draft immediately after Zion Williamson being drafted. The NBA draft was on ESPN, and it was streamed on It was on ESPN. It was broadcasted on ESPN. So full credit to ESPN for ESPN. Full credit to ESPN.com for the clip. Full credit to those guys. This is hold on, we're waiting for a clip to load here. Hold on. So we're waiting for the clip to load here. No. No. Hold on, guys. We're having technical difficulties here. Here we go. So here it is. This is Zion Williamson immediately after being drafted first overall by the New Orleans Pelicans. Take a listen. Apologies, guys, we're having technical difficulties. So unfortunately, that was not the clip. So unfortunately, that was not the clip that I was looking. That was ultimately not the clip I was looking for. So basically, Zion was. Well, I'll play the clip if I can find it. But here it is. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. I mean, and for some reason, the thing I was streaming, I was using was not working. So I'm gonna try to find a clip here. But basically, Zion Williamson, he's just such a likable guy. I'm just gonna talk about this clip. I'm gonna talk about this clip. About these two clips. It's actually two clips I wanted to play, but I was having some technical difficulties actually finding the clips, and we're having some technical difficulties here finding these clips and bringing them in. So basically, just Zion Wilson is just such a likable guy. I mean, he's just extremely likable. If you saw I saw his interviews like all the time, like during the NBA draft. A lot of people say, when he got drafted by the Pelicans, Zion Wilson, he should hold out. He should, he should not play for the Pelicans. He should demand a trade. He should threaten to go back to Duke for being drafted by the Pelicans. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. And so you can say what you want about the Pelicans. They're building a great team around them. You can say what you want about the Pelicans. They're building a great team around them. Again, they got Lonzo Ball. They got Brandon Ingram. They made a great trade from Anthony Davis, who did not want to be there. So that was obviously a great trade by them. Ajon Landon has done a great job so far as general manager. As Trayon Langdon has done a great job so far as general manager. So don't sleep on the Pelicans, fans. A lot of people were saying, "Oh man, the Pelicans are a joke. Why is Zion Williamson have to go with this franchise?" The Pelicans know what they're doing. The Pelicans are selling themselves up to be a nasty force in the NBA because as I trust this new regime of theirs, because again that trade with Anthony Davis the trade with Anthony Davis, getting all those impact players, that's ultimately how you win in the NBA. And we finally have the clip here. So I finally found it here. So I'm gonna play it right. So I'm gonna play it right now. Right now. This is Zion Williamson after reaction after being. Oh, do we have it here? Well, we gotta let it play. So I gotta ramble on for a few more seconds. So here we go here. So here we go. Full credit to ESPN. This is full credit to ESPN on the ESPN app for this. This is Zion Williamson immediately after being drafted. This is Zion Williamson being drafted number 1 overall by the New Orleans Pelicans in the 2019 NBA Draft. Take a listen.
With the first pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Zion Williamson from Duke University.
The emotions evidence for Zion as he becomes the 3rd number 1 overall pick from Duke.
The highest player efficiency rating in the last 10 years. They've only been keeping that for 10 years. Higher than even Anthony Davis, who is a spectacular superstar in the NBA. He's got star written all over him, really superstar written all over him.
I love the fact that he's just such a good teammate, man. So humble. You could tell that he was raised right. 2 parents in his home that obviously discipline was involved in that. He said his mom is his toughest coach. How about that?
He is with Maria Taylor now. Maria?
Well, Zion, certainly the moment we all anticipated, but you've been waiting for this moment since you were 5. How would you describe being the number 1 overall pick in this draft?
I mean, I don't know what to say. I didn't think I'd be in this position. My mom sacrificed a lot for me. I wouldn't be here without my mom. She did everything for me. I just want to thank her.
Your mom was your coach when you were coming up. She coached you until you were 14. What are the sacrifices you feel as though she made for you?
She put her dreams aside for mine. She always looked out for the family first before herself.
Mom, we can see that Zion visibly emotional, as are you. What are you feeling right now in this moment?
He's worked since 5 for this moment. And when you know it's coming, but you just can't really, you just got to wait for it to happen and to watch his hard work pay off and to watch this we're so happy for him. We're so happy.
Mom, what have you seen from your son over the course of this entire process?
I've seen somebody who believed in the process, who put in the work, and who, put those naysayers aside and just continue to do what we ask and continue to believe in the process. And because of that, we're here today.
And Zion, I know you said you didn't believe that you would be here in this moment. When did that belief change? Was it shaking the commissioner's hand and officially being the pick?
Yeah. I don't even seem real that I just shook his hand. I dreamed about this since I was 4. And for it to actually happen, I just thank God for it.
Now the city of New Orleans is so happy to welcome you to the family. I mean, they've been throwing a party basically all day. Is there anything that you'd like to say to your new team and family in New Orleans?
Let's dance. Let's dance.
That clip from Zion Williamson, just him crying, in tears, like he wasn't faking it. Tears were obviously streaming down out of his face. You cannot do that unless you're like the greatest actor of all time. That was really raw emotion from Zion Williamson. Talk about the emotions of like how hard he's worked to get there, how much his mother had to sacrifice for him. He said literally, his mother sacrificed his dreams for him to ultimately get to this point. To see him finally become the first overall pick is just. It's just really moving. It just shows how likable of a player, Zion Williamson is. Like what LeBron James is, like LeBron James being so egomaniacal and always trying to control the narrative. Zion Williamson is the exact opposite of that. So that's basically my opinion. That's basically my opinion of that. I have one more clip from Zion Williamson that I wanted to show before we finally move on from the NBA draft call, because I want to get to some baseball, because I want to get to this because I wanted to get some baseball. We have one more clip here from Zion Williamson. Like as he said, his message to Pelicans fans was let's dance. This is him like during a presser, like his presser immediately after being. This is him during his presser, immediately after being drafted, after explaining that phrase of where you got the let's dance phrase from. So we have this clip here again. Full credit to ESPN. Hold on, let me get it set up. Here we go. This is Zion Williamson during his post-game press conference after being drafted first overall by Nashville Pelicans in the 2019 NBA Draft. Take a listen.
Last night you addressed the people in New Orleans and you said, let's dance. What was the origin of that? Was that something just popped in your head, or was there some background to that?
I have a funny story about that. So me and a group of friends, we went to see Avengers Endgame. And if you know me, Thanos is my favorite character. So, Captain America's shield's broken. And I'm like, we're about to win. Like, for once, the movie's going to be realistic and the bad guy wins sometimes, because he's the strongest. So my friend Axel, he's like, hold on. All of a sudden, all these superheroes who disappeared 5 years ago just start appearing. And I'm like, oh, we might lose. And he looks at me, he goes, let's dance. Let's dance.
That it just shows just how likable the guy is. Like the fact that he's like Zion Williamson, he's into pop culture, like also with the Avengers reference, like how he roots with. Also, Zion, if you're listening though, you got your victory in Avengers Infinity War. So don't talk about like, oh, you're finally gonna win one once the bad guy's finally gonna win. Thanos, sure boy, you're a bad guy. Won in Avengers Infinity War. I think that's enough. So you got your victory there, Zion. I mean, so no need to get greedy. So, but there, it just shows just how likable Zion is. Like he's just an amazing guy. He's just an amazing guy. He's an amazing guy to root for. Like he's single-handedly gonna make the New Orleans Pelicans very fun to watch. Again, the Pelicans, they got a lot of great young pieces: Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, all that good jazz. So all that good. As we talked about that, we talked about that already. But again, Zion Williamson, he's just so likable. You can tell how hard he's worked, how much sacrifices he's had to make, how much his mother has had to sacrifice, and to come out with that the fact that he's that he seems like to be like just a really good guy. I think the NBA has found themselves like a perfect star for them. A perfect face of the franchise, face of the NBA. I think the NBA has found a perfect next face of the NBA after LeBron James. So I could not be happy. I'm a huge Zion Williamson fan. I loved watching him at Duke, and it's gonna be fun to see him in it's gonna be fun see him in the NBA. So Zion Williamson, I'm pulling for you, man. Go kick some what. So.
Thanks for listening to the Fire and Thunder Sports Podcast. Be sure to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe to Super Adam 66 for more of the podcast, as well as more sports and entertainment content. Also follow on Twitter and Instagram at Grassani6.
About that, so we're gonna switch gears to baseball and the New York Yankees. The New York Yankees have been on a tear lately. They've won 8 straight games. I mean, Yankees they had a bit of a rough stretch, they had a bit of a rough stretch. The starting pitcher was inconsistent. I'll get to that in a bit. Like they got a bit of a rough stretch. Like after the Red Sox game losing 8-5, they ended up losing 3 straight after that. They ended up losing 2 out of 3 to the Cleveland Indians. They ended up splitting a series with the Mets. Then they ended up losing another series to the Chicago. They are splitting another series with the Chicago White Sox. They lost the first 2 games of that series, but ever since they lost those 2 first games to the White Sox, they have won 8. They've won 8 straight games. They won the last 2 games against the Chicago White Sox. They've won 3 straight games against the Tampa Bay Rays, and they've won and they just recently won 3 out of 4 games against the Houston Astros. They'll wrap up they'll play the 3rd and final game of that series today. Today is Old Timers Day. They're doing a celebration. It's just right now at Yankee. They're doing the celebrations right now at Yankee Stadium. So they're gonna play a game immediately after that. The game starts at 2 p.m. The Yankees will have a chance to eat that game. Gonna be exciting times for us Yankee fans, and the Yankees have just been The Yankees have just been playing well. And what we're seeing with the Yankees is they're finally starting to get healthy. Giancarlo Stanton finally came back. He got 2 big hits yesterday. Aaron Judge finally came back. Like this past Aaron Judge finally came back. This past what was it, Friday? Yeah. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, Aaron Judge finally came back this past Friday. He went. I think he went 0 for 4 that game. He needs to kind of get off slow start, but I'm not worried about Aaron Judge. I think he'll eventually, get going. Gary Sanchez has been on fire. Gleyber Torres has been on fire. I believe both of them had back-to-back home runs. Gleyber Torres had his first career grand slam. As first career grand slam the other day, I think it was against the Tampa Bay Rays. He had another 3-run home run, and I believe the day another he hit another home run that game. And both Gary Sanchez and Gleyber Torres, they each homered 3 games in a row. They homered in the last game of the Tampa Bay series. They homered again in the first game of the Astros series, and they homered again in the second game of the Astros series. So both those guys have been scorching hot. It's great to see them. It's great to see them clicking on those. And those 2 guys have been some of the MVPs of the team so far. Gary Sanchez has been an absolute force. As I said before, I was critical of Gary Sanchez last year because he underperformed with the bat, and his defense got even worse from 2017. But in this year he's done a complete 180. This year he's done a complete 180. He's been a beast with the bat so far. I think he has 25 home run. How many home runs does Gary Sanchez have? I'll look it up, but he's got plenty of home runs. His defense beyond the plate has improved. His defense beyond the plate has improved. Tremendously. Gary Sanchez has 23 home runs. He's batting 274, or a huge improvement. On base percentage of 340, huge improvement. Slugging 642. He has a slugging percentage of 642. That's outright ridiculous, and an OPS of 9.82. So Gary Sanchez had an amazing year. Gleyber Torres, as you guys know, I'm a Gleyber Torres fanboy. He's saying 287, and on base percentage of 337, slugging percentage of 544, OPS of 8.91. He has 18 home runs on the team I think that's the second. He has 18 home runs so far, the second most on the second most on our team. So Gleyber Torres has been a force this year. DJ LeMahieu has been great. He's been arguably the league MVP. So not the league, sorry, the team MVP so far. He's batting 316. He's exactly the type of player the Yankees needed. DJ LeMahieu has just been, again, DJ LeMahieu has been exactly what the Yankees needed. He's batting three. He's that type of contact to their the Yankees last year. I want to say they were too reliant on home runs. That's kind of a cliche. As Yankee fans use, they hit too many home runs. Listen, in the modern MLB, in today's MLB, you can never hit too many home runs. Home runs are really arguably the most important. That is where the league is trained. The league is trained towards hitting. The league is training towards power hitting and hitting home runs. So you can never have too many home runs in today's MLB. So I don't really like that argument of saying, you're hitting too many home runs. You can't hit too many home runs. The argument you can make though is that they strike out too much and they don't have enough situational hitting. That's the argument you could have made last year. Because last year the Yankees struggled hitting with runners in scoring position. They would have the bases loaded. They would get a big scoring opportunity, and unless they and then they ultimately come up short. They came up short in those situations, and they ultimately struck out too much. This year, they've gotten a lot better situations, and it's a lot because of DJ LeMahieu. DJ LeMahieu is batting 470 with runners in scoring position. And again, he's exactly what the Yankees needed. Because, again, big issues last year, Yankees have had, a lot of strikeouts. DJ LeMahieu doesn't really strike out that much. They've had a lack of contact hitting and situational hitting. DJ LeMahieu's been a beast with that. He's batting 316, batting over 470, 500. Whatever his batting average is with runners in scoring position, he leads the American League in batting average of running the score and batting average with runners in scoring position. So he's been amazing at that. And he's brought in Gold Glove defense. He's played excellent defense at second base, excellent defense at third base, excellent defense at first base. He's been exactly the type of hitter and player the Yankees needed. When the Yankees signed him, everyone was complaining, I want to just go on a rant about this for a second. Is that on Twitter, I've made this kind of mission I have over the past couple of days to go search on Twitter for DJ LeMahieu and find all of you Yankee fans, all the Manny Machado apologists that badmouth DJ LeMahieu saying, who is this guy? Why didn't we sign Manny Machado? Why the Yankees chose Manny Machado over the Yankees chose DJ LeMahieu over Manny Machado? Shame on you, Alex Steinberg. Shame on you, Brian Cashman. You bunch of cheap SOABs. I'm boycotting the franchise. How dare you be cheap like that and choose DJ LeMahieu over Manny Machado? How dare you? To all the people who said that, I will find you. I will expose you for how dumb of a human being and how dumb of a baseball fan you were. And hopefully, you can learn from your mistake and moving forward. Hopefully you accept the fact that that on that particular day and on that particular take that you were wrong. Hopefully you can accept that on that particular, with that particular, ache, that particular pain that you were wrong. And hopefully you can learn from your mistakes moving forward. And honestly, as you guys know, I cannot stand Manny Machado, and I just cannot stand Manny Machado. I want no part of him. Yeah, he's a great talent, but he has had his production has not lived up to his talent. In my opinion, and throughout his career, aside from last year in 2018, his production has not lived up to his his production has not lived up to his talent. He's a lazy player. He's a dirty player. He thinks he says to himself he's not a giant hustle. He thinks he's too egomaniacal. He thinks he's too good for a hustle. He plays dirty. Arguably ended Dustin Pedroia's career with a dirty slide. He had a lot of dirty plays in the postseason. I want no part of him I want no part of him. In this the Yankee clubhouse. I want no part of him. Joining the Yankees and his attitude rubbing off on all of our younger players. I was all on DJ LeMahieu. He was the type of player the Yankees needed, and honestly, I was listening to the Short Porch podcast on which is hosted by Eric Hubbs who's the Yankee writer for Barstool Sports. Love his content. If you haven't followed them on Twitter, I believe it's at Barstool Hubs. Go check them out. Great Yankees content. But he was he was saying on his Short Porch podcast, like, if he could Thanos, like, if you had the Infinity Gauntlet as a gauntlet, and you could Thanos snap one type of group of people from existence, like, what would it be? He said it would be the Great Bird Apologist. And honestly, Hubs, if you're listening, like, how many Great Bird Apologists are there? Like, what, 3? 2? That would be a waste. I mean, just Thanos snapping a Great Bird Apologist, that would be a waste. Manny Machado apologists, on the other hand, I would Thanos snap those people in a heartbeat. I still see people tweets from Yankee fans that are still overall whiny about how we didn't get Manny Machado and we chose DJ LeMahieu over Manny Machado. The people who are still salty and think the Yankees made a mistake by choosing DJ LeMahieu over Manny Machado and all the Manny Machado apologists, all this, like, I would Thanos snap those people in a heartbeat. That's those people. Again, if I could, I mean, it's just. I just like the idea of just Thanos snapping people because it's not violent. It's not like saying I want them to die or anything. I just want to just snap them and then they'll be erased from existence, and then they'll just be erased from existence. I mean, but eventually they'll come back at after Avengers Endgame with the Hulk ultimately brings you back. So don't worry, man, child, you'll live. Don't worry about it. So. I'm going on I don't know what I've been doing, guys. It's just. Oh my god, I'm sorry, guys. I had to get that out of my system. I'm sorry, guys. I had to get that, rant out of my system. But I apologize if I offended anyone. If I offended anyone with that pop culture reference. But
be sure to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe to Super Adam 66 for more of the podcast, as well as more sports and entertainment content. Also follow on Twitter and Instagram at Grassani6.
Anyway, we're breaking down the Encarnacion trade, and again, my initial reaction was like, wow, the Yankees do this again, because the Yankees at the time, like, they were slumping, and everyone was saying they need pitching. Yankees need pitching. At the time, James Paxton was struggling majorly. J Happ couldn't really figure it out. Masahiro Tanaka was inconsistent. He's about there. While great, he's 38. He's 38. And this is also be his his last season, his retirement season. So this is his last season. You can't really rely on him to give you that many. You can't push him too far. You can't rely on him to give you that many innings. So everyone expected the Yankees to go out and get a pitcher, and then they ultimately make this trade for Andrew Castellanos, who is a great player. I love the trade. Don't get me wrong, guys. I really do. I like the trade. I'm happy to have Edwin Castellanos on the Yankees, but Edwin Castellanos, he's exactly what the Yankees the hitter that the Yankees have. He's exactly the type of hitter the Yankees have. He's Edwin Castellanos. He's 36, so I mean, the Yankees roster is younger, so you're not old like that. He's 36, but he's right now leading the American League in home runs. He's hitting 241 this year. His slugging percentage is like what I think it's 500, but 100. But he's exactly that type of right hand that type of power bat that the Yankees already have like plenty of. They already have Stanton, just came back. Judge, Aaron Judge, she's a big time power bat. Luke Voigt, Gary, as well as Gary Sanchez. So they add another right-handed power bat. Which again, I said before, you can never have too many too many home runs in today's MLB. But Edwin Castellanos, he's exactly that as just another of one of those big time right-handed power bats. So that gives them I have those right now. So the Yankees are really loaded in the right-hand power hitting department. Again, I like the trade. Don't get me wrong. Edwin Castellanos, when they have a chance to get that type of player who's leading the American League in home runs for just a random minor league prospect, like let's be honest. Like, does anyone know who Juan Den is? Even though some of the most diehard Yankee fans out there, do any of you guys know who Juan Den is? No. 99% of us probably don't. So you trade him away, and you trade cash services away, and you bring in that type of a bat. Like, it's a great trade for the Yankees, and the fact that the Yankees got him so cheap just by default makes this a great trade. So I'm happy to have Edwin Castellanos, the Pat Barrett on the Yankees. His power, where he holds his arm up like he's holding a power as he hits a home run. I mean, he's already becoming a fan favorite on the Yankees. So I'm happy to have him on the roster. But again, it gives them 5 essentially of the same type of player. I know Aaron Judge is kind of like a 5-field player. You could do it also. I'll exclude that from the list. But again, Jacal Stanton, right-handed, power-heavy bat. Luke Voigt, right-handed, power-heavy bat. And Gary Sanchez, right-handed, power-heavy bat. And right now, Edwin Castellanos, that's 4 players who are right-handed, power-heavy. And right-handed, power-heavy. And if I'm the Yankee, and if I'm the Yankees, like what I'm doing right now, I think you might have to consider trading like one of those 4 guys. Trading one of those 4 guys. I mean, should I? No, I don't think you're really gonna trade them. I take that back. So I take that back. Sorry guys. So no, but essentially they have 4 of the same type of hitters, and that does risk creating some imbalance in the Yankees lineup that they had last year. But at the end of the day, I think you have to trust Aaron Boone to work it out. Even with those guys, you still have a lot of great contact hitters. Gleyber Torres, he's a big contact guy. DJ LeMahieu is a big contact guy. Didi Gregorius is a big contact guy. So you still have those 3, guys, balance out the power in that lineup. So I wouldn't be too. I wouldn't be too worried about that. And the big thing that when a Castellanos trade does is it gives the Yankees leverage to go out and get a pitcher. It gives the Yankees more it gives the Yankees more trade chips. It gives them and when a Castellanos trade gives them another asset that now they can make other players potentially available to trade for a big time starting pitcher. For example, and this is a long shot. I don't think this is necessarily going to happen, but Max Scherzer is on the Washington Nationals right now. Nationals have not been good this year. They've been playing well as of late, but if the Nationals, start to fall out of it, the Nationals and they start to field offers for Max Scherzer, the Yankees might have the Yankees are right now in prime position to go ahead and get Max Scherzer because now with so many players on our roster, the Yankees have the ability to when they sit down with the Nationals and trade talks, they can say, hey, Watson, these 4 players are not available. Aaron Judge, Gleyber Torres, Gary Sanchez, Luis Severino. Those 4 guys off the table. Aside from that, what do you want? What do you want us to give you for you to give us Max Scherzer? Because Max Scherzer is exactly that type of pitcher the Yankees need. He's that top of the line ace. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's that number 1 star, clear cut number 1. He's that clear cut, number 1 star that the Yankees, desperately need. They need that, that one pitcher. We know they're gonna go out and get at least 1 starting pitcher, at the trade deadline, and right now they've themselves in a position where if the Nationals do start to fall out of it, and they decide to maybe take some offers from Max Scherzer, the Yankees are in prime position to make the best possible offer from Max Scherzer. Because then, as much as I would hate to see him go, Luke Voigt, he's a young player. If he's ultimately a piece that you can that could be included and in a Max Scherzer deal, I think you have to consider it. Clint Frazier, Miguel Andujar. Again, it would kill me to see Miguel Andujar go, but if ultimately it ultimately gets you Max Scherzer, ultimately I think you have to do it. Gio Urshela, Domingo Germán, who else? Abreu. There's one other pitcher that he slipped. Another guy that's really slipping my mind. But the Yankees have so much depth that you can use to go out. And Esteban Florial, that's another guy that was missing. Jonathan Loaizaga. I think that's who it is. Alberto Abreu. They have all these trade chips to put together, that they could put together, a monster package from Max Scherzer. And even if you do that, you'll still have DJ LeMahieu who can play third base. You'll still have Brett Gardner who's having an underrated season, by the way. I think he's saying 240 or something with 11 home runs. He's hitting 11 home runs right now, Brett Gardner, this year. So Brett Gardner has not been terrible this year. If he's your number 9, if you could slide him into that number 9 spot, I understand, Yankee fans, Yankee fans, obviously Brett Gardner is, not the hitter he used to be. He's not the player he used to be. He's at the end of it. He's nearing the end of his career. Or he's obviously at the end of his prime. But as a 9 hitter, he can play left field. He'll play good defense. He'll play, great defense out of left field. He'll hit, he'll hit 240. He'll hit, 240. He'll have a couple of home runs. As a 9 hitter, I think Brett Gardner is definitely at least playable in the Yankees lineup. I think he can at least be, serviceable as the Yankees not hitter. He's not left-handed, which again the Yankees desperate, which again not necessarily desperate, but which is kind of like what they. Which is definitely what the Yankees need. Yankees need kind of like that kind of balance between right-handed and left-handed, so he would slide it to the 9 hole as a left-hander. So you have Brett Gardner on left, you have DJ LeMahieu at third, DD at short. Who else? Gleyber at second. You slide Lindor, and went crossing over to first base, who actually according to a lot of people I've talked to in the analyst community and just baseball people in general, is a better defensive first baseman than Luke Voigt. So Encarnacion becomes your first baseman, Stanton becomes your DH. You have Hicks there, you have Judge and Wright. And you have Max Scherzer at the top of your pitcher rotation. That is a team that I think would really be the favorites to win the World Series. That is a team that, in my opinion, would be the favorites to win the World Series. But as of right now, the Max Scherzer to the Yankees trade is a pipe dream. I don't think it's going to happen. If it did happen, I won't say I'd be shocked, but I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if the Yankees do somehow end up getting Max Scherzer. Washington Nationals are 37-39 by the way. So they're in third place in the National League East. But again, the National League East has been such a dreadful, has been just such has been such a dreadful division, such a disappointing division that Nationals could still be in the race, at the end of it. So the Nationals have to fall out for them to even really consider, trading, Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer, I believe, at the end of this year, and he'll officially, after this year, I'll officially have a no trade clause on his contract. So, if the Nationals do want to get out of that banned contract, this might be their best chance to do it. So again, are the Yankees getting Max Scherzer? Probably not. But what this trade does is that it sets the Yankees up to being in a perfect position to, if they do decide to make Max Scherzer available, they are ultimately be the front runners to go out there and land a Max Scherzer. And just a starting pitcher in general. The Yankees right now, I have set themselves to be in a perfect position to where, when the trade deadline comes, a team like the Blue Jays, who might decide to sell off Marcus Stroman, or if the Giants decide to sell off Madison Bumgarner, or if the Indians decide to sell off Trevor Bauer, they are now the prime position to be the favorites to go out there and make a trade to land that type of big time starting pitcher, to land that ace, to land that type of number one, number two star that they desperately need, because they definitely need a more starting pitcher to really become a legitimate threat to win the World Series. Can the Yankees win the World Series right now as they're presently constructed? Sure, if they get Luis Severino back and he's fully healthy and he pitches like he did in the first half of last year, I think the Yankees will be able to be fine. But again, that's a lot of ifs. If Severino comes back, is healthy, and is that ace. If Tanaka can pitch as well in the postseason as he usually does if he pitches well in the postseason as he usually does. If James Paxton can figure out and show more consistency. If Happ can be a serviceable pitcher. Again, he had one of the worst starts of his career against the Red Sox in Game 1 of the ALDS. If CC Sabathia can be that solid number 5 pitcher in your lineup. But again, that's a whole lot of ifs. That's way too many. That's honestly just way too many ifs for really that's a lot of ifs. That's still a lot of ifs. That's way too many ifs to really feel to be comfortable on. That's still just that's too many uncertainty. So if you're the Yankees, you still have to go out and get a big time starting pitcher to ultimately really increase your odds of being to be a favorite to not only go to the World Series but ultimately win the World Series. You still need that one big time starting pitcher. You still need to go out there and get a Marcus Stroman, to get a Madison Bumgarner, to get a Trevor Bauer. You still need to go out and get one of those guys, and by trading for Edwin Encarnacion, the Yankees can make a bunch of other trade chips on their roster, a bunch of other players on their roster available to go ahead and make a trade for a big time starting pitcher. They have by trading for Edwin Encarnacion, they have opened themselves up to be the favorites to land a big time starting pitcher at the trade deadline, to land the best available starting pitcher at the trade deadline. So that's it. Show's pretty much come to an end. So we're gonna wrap it this show as we do every week with my pick of the week. And this week I'm gonna Jack Bartek, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I am picking the Chicago Cubs to win today over the New York Mets. And Mets will send Jacob deGrom to the mound. Meanwhile, the Chicago Cubs will send Cole Hamels. The Mets are right now the favorite to win this game. I don't understand it. I don't understand the Mets have been hot. I understand the Mets have been hot lately, but they've won. Was it? Let me check and make sure it's official. They've won two straight games. They won the first two games of the series against the Cubs, and they have the momentum right into this final game with a chance to win the series. I don't see it. Cole Hamels, Jacob deGrom has had. Well, Jacob he hasn't been bad. He's had a 3.26 ERA. He's been solid, but he has been the otherworldly Jacob deGrom from last year. Cole Hamels has been great so far. He's 6-2, 2.85 ERA. So right now he's outperforming, Jacob deGrom. So, and right now the Mets are supposed to be the favorites in this game. Are you kidding me? Give me those give me the what? I'm gonna look up on FanDuel right now to find out what the official line is. But right now the fact that the Mets are the favorites in this game, if I'm a betting man, I would be all over this shit. Let me just go ahead and find the official. I need to find this. I need to find this, guys. Before we wrap up the show, I need to find this. So bear with me. I want to find the official line. Sorry, guys. FanDuel is loading. And then from the goal line, waiting for tip off. Getting the ball rolling. So here we go. The Mets are. Oh, it's -1 for the Cubs are -104. So it's really kind of like an even game. So it's kind of like an even line. The Cubs are -104 to win, but the Mets are -110 to win. So the Mets are still the favorites to win this game. So it's going to be a close game, but ultimately I'm going to be picking the Chicago Cubs to win today's game over the New York Mets.
Thanks for listening to the Fire and Thunder Sports Podcast. Be sure to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe to Super Adam 66 for more of the podcast, as well as more sports and entertainment content. Also follow on Twitter and Instagram at Grassani6.